Snap, crackle, pop. All right. Hey, I'm here with Dave from the channel, The Magic Negro Show. Is that right?
Yes, you can say all together. My YouTube handle is David the Magic Negro Show.
That's a little long. I'm just messing with you. That's cool. Yeah. So, I'm gonna start with all the questions I asked everybody. Were you always on the Democratic plantation, if not, why I always forget the opening question? Were you always on the Democratic plantation, and if not, why?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the show. To answer your question, I was a Democrat, a registered Democrat. I voted Democrat as a young man since I was 18, and I stopped that behavior around 2003, 2004. I think I was still voting Democrat. When I moved to Nevada at the beginning of 2005, that's when I became a registered independent.
Okay, why though? What was your moment? I want the juicy stuff. I don't want the. You're being very practical and very. I want why? Did you have a moment, something that you discovered? Give me the scoop.
Okay. Well, it's cumulative. Let's start out with my mother and father were Muslim, and so I was raised Muslim. When I went into the Navy in 1996, on my dog tags, it said no religious preference. Now, I could have put Islam, but the political environment at the time didn't make me feel comfortable enough to do that. And my own ignorance as well. I've got good teachings, but, the internet is bringing us together just like it's bringing us information. So when I was still in the reserves when 9/11 happened in 2001. I first enlisted in 1996. I was what they call a 2x-skate. So I did 2 years active, and then I did 7 total in the reserves. And at that time in 2001, when 9/11 happened, I was in the reserves, and I was just sitting back watching everything going on. And, I finally made my way to Alex Jones, and
AJ.
So it's been a process. We can say it started from 2001. And then I learned who Aaron Russo was in 2003 and Freedom to Fascism. I paid $90 to KPFK to get a copy of that DVD, as a donation.
Wow. How do you feel that it's free on the internet now? You paid like $90.
Yeah.
I'd be mad. I'm I paid $90 now. It's free, but if you guys should check it out. You know what? I'm gonna make a note to put that in the link so people can click on it and watch it if they don't know about it. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So Aaron Russo is a brave man. So my time on the Democrat plantation was quite extensive. What I don't know what age. I guess 25, 26. By the time I'm 28, I'm like, okay. By the time 2009, okay, so I'm 40 right now. I was born in 1978. So what would be 2009? Because that's when I became an oath keeper. I met Steward Rhodes. I was actually listening to Alex Jones talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center and describing about how they do business. And I was like, wow, are they really behind the propaganda machine that are making Black people overly emotional?
Could you stop for a second and tell people what the Oath Keepers is? We actually interviewed Steward Rhodes on our podcast a few years ago. So there are probably a lot of people that are watching that don't understand what the Oath Keepers are. So please tell them.
Okay. Oath Keepers was founded by Steward Rhodes, who is a Army Ranger veteran. He is also I think he went to Princeton to get his law degree. And so he sees that the government is kind of disobeying and not paying attention to the Constitution anymore. So those of us who have taken an oath to the Constitution at some time before or even after, the oath keepers was established, have a duty to make sure that the Constitution is enforced. So the only way we're going to be able to enforce the Constitution is that we have to first make ourselves aware that it exists and read it, and that's what the Oath Keepers is about. It's all about preserving the constitutional republic, and that's it. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like them. You're right. Like I think one of the main reasons too, why everybody is in a tizzy, why they're able to get away with so much is because we've been so dumbed down. We don't like the most people, including myself, because I've had to go back and look up some things, don't know about the Constitution and laws and things like that. So even if it's written in paper and people don't know, nobody's going to stand up because they don't know what they're standing up against, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It makes perfect and total absolute sense. And those of us who served in every capacity, because everybody serves. You're a teacher, so you serve the public good just like I did. And it's just that our jobs were different. Yeah. We worked with the government. We just had different positions within it. And it's that we are going to uphold our oaths, and those of us who take oaths need to be held accountable. That's why I like this Trump presidency, because it's a once again a reemergence of the Constitution.
Yeah.
On the frontal lobe, as opposed to somewhere else in the brain.
Very true. It's forcing people to look at the Constitution more clearly, in more detail. I mean, this presidency is definitely not just about Trump, but it's also just revealed a lot. A lot about the country, a lot about the corruption in the country, a lot about what am I trying to say? People and friends and family that we know. I honestly believe this is a war between good and evil. That might sound extreme to some people. If you're an atheist, take it as not good and evil, but like, a psychological war, a war of information. It's all of those things, Go on. Because I was trying to get to what was your waking moment. So you were telling me the story and I kept cutting in, so.
Oh yeah, no problem. So we can say that it's been an awakening over time from 9/11, 2001, and this is like 8 years, right? The internet comes online or YouTube, Google, 2007. So I'm on it. One of the first videos I watched was Illuminati Ring of Power. And it was back when YouTube had 10-minute videos. So it was
like back in the day, yes. I remember that.
So I watched 30 videos over like 2 or 3 days, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I didn't know any of this stuff. And so there's a lot more to it. So yeah, I left the Democrats alone in around when I left California. Okay. I was #walk away in 2005.
Yeah, I was walk away before walk away. I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a long and pretty thorough answer. So I want to ask you, why are you called the Magic Negro? Or why do you call yourself? Nice. Why do you call yourself the Magic Negro?
Okay. This topic can be boring, so I'm gonna get a little excited. I want you to be interactive, because this is like this is law, writing legislation, completely boring stuff in the legal system. Oh my God, talk about a sleeper. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen asleep, right, studying. Yeah. So that's my first name. My parents gave it to me. Has no other connotations, just my name. The Magic Negro Show. Okay, so let's take the word magic. Okay, so a lot of people look at magic. You got Harry Potter. You got David Blaine. You got Chris whatever down there at the because I'm living in Las Vegas, so we got
Yeah.
David Copperfield.
Uri
You got
Geller. What's the other guy's name? Oh, I can't think of his
Penn
name.
and,
But Penn and Teller.
Penn, yeah, Chris Angel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Chris
what I was trying
Angel.
to say earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
David Blaine.
So there's
Yeah.
all this. Yeah. So magic, it's everywhere. So it's like, well, what is this thing about magic? And I'm like, well, so based on all these different definitions, I'm like, oh, and not to leave out the Majestic 12. All right, that's where we get Roswell. Remember the Majestic 12?
I don't really know about that, but yeah, go on.
FBI. Okay, it's an FBI document dating back to 1947, and it has to do with Roswell, New Mexico, and
Okay.
yeah. So the Majestic 12 was the military, the group of men who were all members of the armed forces, generals and admirals. This group of men, and they call themselves the Majestic 12.
Got you. Okay.
In relation to the UFO conspiracy.
Got you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So magic. We're coming back to magic. So the capacity to explain these things to other people it's not an easy task. It's like it almost would take a magician to make something appear in front of someone, like pull a rabbit out of a hat. Something along those lines, right? Making something appear that was once unseen. That could be the product of magic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It already is.
A lot of things are hidden in plain sight too. They do use magic, and I joke about a lot of the quote unquote mass brainwashing that's gone on, and I joke about it being black magic, but it is black magic. You know,
right.
It's wordsmithing and it's semantics and all that stuff. It's magic. It's a form of magic. You know, it's a psychological, spiritual science.
Right.
Yeah.
The CMB of it all. To use a quantum physics term, cosmic microwave background. That's important to those who study quantum physics. CMB, and so that's basically, let's say the ugly side, right, of what I was attempting to just bring forth in more of a kind of jovial, exciting way, because it's very boring.
Yeah.
But it's we have that cosmic microwave background.
Yeah.
So we can know where we're going, because we have to know where we came from. And
definitely, yeah.
Then Negro, just to be quick, and let me go to the ugly side. Okay, so, and I challenge anyone to tell me that I'm wrong. All right, there was a case. Abraham Lincoln was the lawyer representing a man from Portugal who was a Moor.
Oh wow.
M-O. Okay, yeah. And in that case, his brother named Spencer, okay, was upset at this man from Portugal named Dungy, okay? He was mad at Dungy because Spencer's sister liked Dungy, okay?
Uh-oh. Jungle fever up in there.
All right? And so Spencer was like, wait a minute. I'm in the United States of America. Dungy is he's a Negro. Okay? And at the time in the 1850s,
it was
okay,
a crime, yeah.
All right.
Miscegnation, right? Miscegnation, yeah.
Right. So Abraham Lincoln, before he was president, and I believe this is 1855, 1856. I believe my sister corrected me. She told me it was 1855. So this case, you can look it up. Dungy versus Spencer. So if someone calls me Negro, I will be controlling it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will be controlling. When you call me Negro, I'll be the title I created, as opposed to it being created back when it was for our people.
It's kind of like make fun of yourself before somebody can insult yourself, to give yourself power so nobody can insult you, kind of deal.
Yeah, the those who watch this, who play the game God of War, it's the equivalent of the Golden Fleece. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Okay. I don't know what that is, so I'll just take your word for it. Have you ever seen that movie Roxanne with Steve Martin, that old movie?
I like Steve Martin movies.
It was an old one. So it was a remake, or it's a remake of Cyrano de Bergerac, and he had the big nose.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you know that
Yeah.
scene? It kind of reminds me of what you said. It made me go to the scene. I love the scene. It was really powerful. You know what I'm talking about, where he's in the bar. He's in the bar, and this guy bumps into him, and he's like, "Watch it, big nose." He's like, "Excuse me." He's like, "You have this in front of you, and all you can come up with, big nose." He's like, "You think you can do better?" And then he's like, "Throw your dart, and however many insults you hit, I'll think of as many insults." And he hits 20. So they come up with 20 insults for his own big nose, and he makes the guy look like super stupid. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it was great. It's great though, because it is. You gotta kind of like, you gotta take that power. And we talked a little bit before we start recording. I guess I don't put my microphone a little more. That you gotta, like, we're talking about the word nigger, right? And how people capitulate to that word. It's like a dog whistle. Oh, the N word, right? Like, I'm not a person. I'm an adult, so I don't do euphemisms. But I even feel like sometimes if I go in other people's shows and their channels, I will say the N word, just because, it might be something that's going to come back on them. But as far as my space and whatever I say, I'm going to say nigger when I mean nigger. Now, I understand the difference between calling somebody that word as a form of aggression, or saying it in passing as in to describe something. There's some people that can't even make that distinction, You can't even say it, like they'll like melt, So,
Right.
what do you think about that? I think we're on the same page about that, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I remember when I went to Jamaica on a cruise recently with my ex-wife.
Uh-huh.
And when we got to Jamaica, and I was wearing my fez? No, I wasn't wearing my fez, but I was just kind of conducting myself in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "You're like the white man," and I was like, "Man, yeah, I guess I am the white man." We talked about that too. With the legal system and all that.
Yeah.
So not to throw anybody, so that because that wasn't what I was getting at. Mm-hmm. It's listening to the people talk, the Jamaicans, when they speak with each other, and then when they spoke to me, right? And because what they call it, patois.
That's Haiti, I think. I don't know, but maybe in Jamaica too. Patois, it's like a French based or something like that, or Geechee, or I don't know, something. Go on.
You're right, Professor.
Are you sure? I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think my great grandfather is Haitian, so I don't know. I don't know a lot about that though. I know a little bit about. I've heard family members talk about it, so I think that's what it is. But
well, I stand corrected on the patois. I wanted to more focus in on the double-mindedness of speaking to others of their nation, and then speaking to those that aren't from that nation. Okay. How they switch up so fast.
Are you Jamaican? Do you have Jamaican ancestors?
No.
Okay.
Haitian. All right,
Haitian. Oh, my Haitian brother.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Hey, 1904.
Was that when they overthrew the slave? No, that was before that. That was, never mind. 1904. Never mind. Forget I said that. I forget.
Independence. Before that, they kicked France out.
Yeah,
they kicked Napoleon out of there because that's what made the Louisiana Purchase possible.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So you have a
Yeah.
lot to learn. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a political science major at UNLV. I got like 8 classes left. I've had like some difficulties,
Yeah.
family passing away, best friend. Long story. Plus, I'm now have an ex-wife, but we'll leave that to the side. I'm
Yeah.
also at Oxnard College. I took enough classes to get my liberal arts degree. So we can add, and that was in 2004. So we can add that to the reasons why I stopped becoming or going in the path of a liberal, because I learned what it's all about to be a liberal, because I have a liberal
Yeah.
arts degree. If
Yeah.
anyone wants to do that, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we got off a tangent. So we're on the tangent of dang. I swear I'm sober. I'm just tired. This is milk. It's almond milk in here. It's not vodka. Um. Anyway, we were talking about, huh?
We were talking about how
Jamaica. You're in Jamaica and how they talk to you. There we go.
double-minded speech, and so people are deciding not to use their minds, and it's a decision that they're making, and so we need some type of technology to draw the truth out of them. That's why I wrote my book, because everything that you're saying.
Wait, push it up. Let's put it there for a minute. Okay, so people can see the science of fiction dialectic. Okay, go on.
Okay. Yeah. So what's going on is that it's not about me. It's about all of humanity. It's about all of us um, getting on the same page. And the only way we're going to get on the same page is when we actually become proficient in the language that we speak. And so if English is the language that I speak, well, then I need to learn a lot of definitions of a lot of words, because I'm assuming that I know all of them. And if I assume that I know the definitions of all the words that are being used around me, well, that makes me rather arrogant.
Yeah,
Right?
and language is very flexible, and English changes and it mutates because it's influenced by so many other languages, and there are other like Spanish and French. Like they have people that keep their language in line, so it's not as mutable as English. English is like it mutates a lot. I want to say it's funny that you brought that up, because I got in a fight with this guy in the comment section. We were talking about languages, and I made a video talking about how it's hard being a teacher when you have a class that speaks 2 languages and you have to go back and forth between the 2, and it puts a strain on the system. And he was like, well, black people need to learn Spanish. I'm like, I know Spanish, so I'm not like, I like learning languages. I like language. I'm not complaining about that. But I was saying that there is a definite like culture clash, and there's a lot of problems that arises through language if you can't communicate, even in nuances. You can say one thing wrong and it can create a whole different meaning if you guys aren't on the same page. But but then he was like, oh, English is the white man's language. And I think he was black too. But I'm just like, well, he goes, we need to not like, what's the word, assimilate to the white man's languages and learn Spanish. I'm like, yeah, Spanish is a white man's language, dude. Like, Spanish is a European language. All these people in South America speak Spanish because they were conquered by Spaniards from Europe. So it was like, excuse me? Like, you're really that, like, retarded? But okay, if you want to go there, So, anyway, I'm sorry. So, yes, being on the same page. I think, though, I'm sad when I hear things that certain languages in different parts of the world are disappearing, because I do think different languages, they have a different perspective and interpretation. There's, certain languages have descriptions and words and meanings and beliefs that other languages don't have. So I think that there is a need to have other languages, but I do believe in the lingua franca, which is English, because we all do need to be on the same page in order to be able to communicate with each other.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Lingua franca, the language of commerce.
I mean, the go-between languages. Sorry. I just got home This is my dinner. Um, it is, I mean, yes, the language of commerce, but anyway, anywhere you go on this planet, the language that people use to communicate with each other is English, usually, right? So when I was living in Taiwan, I met people from Denmark, from France, from South Africa, from Jamaica, from Africa, different parts of Africa, from the Virgin Islands, from Vietnam, from Japan, Russia. We all communicated in English. Some of us can communicate in Chinese because that was the language that was spoken in Taiwan. But all of us, we had to speak to each other. We communicated in English.
Mm-hmm. And the whole world was with one language. The scriptures. I love reading the Bible now because I'm supposed to as a Muslim, and so.
Wait, you have to tell people that. This is interesting. Wait, sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but could you describe, because there are people that will hear that you're Muslim and they're like, oh no, like they're different sects of Islam, right? I'm assuming. So what is the difference between you and the Muslims that I'm just, I know I'm being, but maybe like over exaggerating, but like strap a bomb to their body and that want to kill, or what is the difference between your beliefs and that type of Islam or the different sects? I don't really know a lot about Islam. Could you please explain that to me?
Okay, so like the Bible, it's the Quran has had people write additional texts in order to explain what's inside of the original text. And so you'll come across a couple of popular, extra Quranic texts called the Hadith and Ahadith.
Okay.
I think a Hadith is, I think it's Hadith, and then Ahadith. Ahadith or Ahadith. It depends on the way that they translate, but you'll definitely find it if you try that phonetically. That's where you get those ritualistic beliefs of not eating pork. It's not in the Quran.
Okay.
So, in the Quran, it tells Muslims, and so what makes me different, I'm no different than my brothers and sisters.
Do you eat bacon?
I do.
You eat like the Carl's Jr. bacon double cheeseburger? I'm sorry. I'm being silly. Sorry. Go on.
No. I will, and I do, because I don't want to separate myself from people.
Okay.
And this is a quote that I got from the late Judith Jones, who was an editor for some newspaper. It's like huge magazine or newspaper, something like Judith Jones. She says that normalcy bias is food preference. She made it very simple to understand that if I can't eat what you eat, then I won't be able to think how you think. And if you ask me for help, I won't be able to successfully aid you, because I will be thinking foolishly, believing that if I eat a pig, then I can be filled with evil spirits, as Jesus filled the pig or herd of pigs with evil spirits that ran off into the lake of fire.
Well, I'm just challenging you. What if you're like a vegan or a vegetarian though, and you don't eat that? You know what I mean?
Well,
you don't eat.
I could be.
I'm just saying if I went, you ate bacon and pork, but I'm like, well, I'm not gonna eat that because I'm a vegetarian. Mm-hmm. Is that still like not, kind of coming to your level? Like, how would you?
Well, it has everything to do with literature. I would ask them, do you know? Well, I'd say I eat bacon because I know who Sir Francis Bacon is. And if you're familiar with his work, who he was, when he existed,
the science guy, the lawyer, okay.
The lawyer, the
Did he invent the scientific method? Was that him?
I wouldn't give him that, but okay. He was a linguist.
Okay.
He could speak, French, English, Hebrew, Spanish, um, Latin. He knew all these different languages.
Okay.
Lord Chancellor of France, he wrote a book called The New Atlantis.
Okay.
And talk about lost languages, but what about a lost book? No one.
There are lots of lost books. The Library of Alexandria and probably Germany book burning and all that other. I mean, so much lost. Yeah. But go on.
So anyone that would question my eating bacon, I would immediately question whether or not they knew who Sir Francis Bacon was, because what's wrong is it's not my problem, it's your problem with what you don't know.
Okay.
And I'll help. See, what I'm here for is because you don't just create a problem and then not helped someone to solve it. That would be the wrong. And then that's where we can go back to Socrates, 381 BC, where when he was challenged by 3 certified pedophiles, this is in the story of the Republic.
Okay.
He made sure that he did not deny those men a view, which is called Ido, EIDO, which is a view of where he's coming from.
Okay. So I guess we went on another tangent, but I wanted to ask, what's the difference between the violent Muslims and you? Because I don't think you're like a violent Muslim. So I know there are people who are going to be like, oh, Islam, they're going to kill us, blah, 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 blah. What's the difference between, I guess, the non-violent Muslims and the ones that are violent? What are their beliefs?
Right. Well, it's like a literal interpretation of the Bible created Aleister Crowley. This is like the truth. That's how he grew up, with a literal interpretation. So even a literal interpretation of the Quran will drive you to do some pretty, outlandish things. In the Quran, Allah says to kill one person is as if you killed all humanity. So it seems to be something outside of the Quran that's motivating these people to do these things. And so when we're looking at Muslim countries and Muslims that engage in things called terrorism, you have to look at both sides of the argument. Blowing yourself up is the last. That's the last thing that you can do politically to try to get your point across to the occupying nation. And notice I said occupying.
So I understand that. Yeah. Go on.
Right.
But what about like stoning women and the abuse of women and things like that too? Is that also a literal interpretation of the Bible? I mean, of the Quran?
Yes. Absolutely. It's that's wrong for someone to do that to a child of Allah. It's wrong. It's an interpretation, but we got to look at those places where these people are doing that and think about what is their intelligence level. How long have they been reading their language? Do they understand other languages? Do they have interpretations that are newer? Who are their imams? Where did they go to school? And we have to look at these things to know why they're doing what they're doing. It's almost like you have to have an anthropological, eyes on everywhere you look. You got to have anthropology in your mind, because when you're looking at certain parts of Afghanistan, you're looking at like the 3rd century.
I've seen video footage and pictures of Afghanistan when they were progressive. And now they're not. Like in the 70s, like women with short hair and like nice little mini skirts and going to school. What the heck happened? Do you know? I would like to know.
No,
and they were taken over. Like something happened. They were taken over, and now they're back to like primitive times, where women are covered. You can't do that. Women aren't educated. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy. Where I don't know.
We're talking Afghanistan pre maybe UNICAL 1997. or because that's when the Taliban was getting money from the United States.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because the Unocal wanted to open up an oil pipeline, and so they hadn't decided whether or not the Taliban hadn't decided whether or not they were going to allow the United States to do that, but they did allow the United States to build like mansions and different types of things over there, to try to get them to um, let them run this oil pipeline through their country. And so, yeah, it would be interesting to see what it was before, maybe 1997.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to ask you. We were talking about the word like nigger and not being controlled by that word.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about Negro. That Negro bothers people too. You're saying that doesn't bother you. What about? I was going to ask you. Do you ever get made fun of or having complexes for being a darker skinned black? Because I know I have black people that watch this channel, and then there are people that are non-black, and I hear people talking about, oh, if we just mix up or whatever, we'll just get rid of racism. But I'm just like, we can't even begin to get rid of racism until we fix the racism problem within our own race.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. As a dark skinned man, there is, some prejudice in our race. Oh, I want a light skinned guy. I want my babies to be, light skinned with light eyes.
With pretty eyes and good hair and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. The nonsense. Like they're trying to, do the genetic engineering themselves. But growing up, I grew up in Oxnard, California, so I actually grew up around more Mexican people than I did black people. I didn't really deal with a lot of black people until I moved to Las Vegas in 2005, and that's when I really started to have my experience.
Wow.
With yeah. My friend, one of my homeboys back in Oxnard, he always used to say, David, you're like a Mexican. I'm like, it's funny. Why would you say that? But it's where I was born, and people are.
Yeah. No, the first 8 years of my life, most of my friends were like Asian and Latin, because that's where all the Latin and Asian immigrants moved to. And when I went to junior high and I started going around school with black people, to me that was harder. The racism was harder for me to deal with than racism that I expected from people outside of my race. I feel like I was more prepared to deal with other people being racist toward me, but not black people being racist toward myself. So I'm pretty light, so nobody made fun of my skin color, but I got made fun because my hair wasn't straight enough. And at that time, I would have a press, but it still wasn't straight enough. And then I got made fun of because of how I talked and how I dressed and my interest and everything else. So it was never good enough for them,
Oh yeah, well you've heard me talk for a while now, so I used to catch it growing up.
Yeah, totally. You talk white, blah 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 blah. Man, it was tiring. I tried to go down that road for a minute where I tried to please I call them the blacker than thous, the key people that hold the keys to blackness, but it just got so exhausting. And I tried to get on that whole dark skin, light skin stuff, and my parents stopped that right there. They don't play that shit. Like my mom's darker than me. My dad's my complexion. Both my parents are black. My dad's mom is half white, but a lot of people think, they come on my comment thread and they think that I'm like, I have mixed or different races as a parents, but I don't. But I digress, or I'm going on a tangent. But what was I going to say? Yeah, my parents. I'm very blessed that they never raised my brother and I to get into that stuff. Like, they hated me saying the word good hair. Like, they hated, they never let me be like dark-skinned, they never let me fall into that. And now that I'm older, I look back, I'm like, I know so many adults that raise their children that way, and they're the first people to complain when somebody non-black says something about them that's racist. But yeah, they'll say it's just another black person.
Yeah, hypocrite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrites out there. There's actually another English word that I want to share with you. And for the viewing audience that may be offended by words, I would like you to maybe mute or turn away from this
Not on my
portion.
channel. My subscribers, they got some tough skin. They can
All right.
handle it. They can handle it.
All right. And I
I ain't
am
got no
being
weak people on my channel.
okay. And I'm being intentionally meek. All right. Like
Okay.
I can get raw, like if need be.
All right.
So the word and do you have a Google or something where you can look this up?
Let me see.
The word.
I would try and share the screen. I've never done it while I'm recording.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it'll work with the software. I don't want to mess it up. I should have done a test.
People will love me for it. They'll love me for it because this is where we gotta go if we're going to go towards a future that we can win.
All right. All right. Oh, stop! You guys know I watch Kevin from Kevin's Corner. I'm busted. Okay. All right. Give me the word. Let's see if this will work.
The word is cant. C-A-N-T.
Meaning?
A hypocrite. No, don't put an apostrophe in there. There's no apostrophe. It's an actual word.
Oh, not
C-A-N-T.
cannot. Oh, okay. Not can't. Not cannot. Hypocritical and sanctimonious talk. Oh, I do. I love it. You're gonna be hearing me using that word in my videos now and be like, oh, but it's not an adjective. Is there an adjective form of this word?
Let's see.
And you see it from your point of view? Yeah, you can, right? Because you said.
There's a verb form.
Noun form.
Now think of Immanuel Kant.
Let's do this. Can't, can't adjective. Let's see if that one comes up. Merriam-Webster is really good. Give me a second. Getting some.
I want to speak a little bit about it. It's a broad term. No pun intended there.
How dare you say broad? I'm not a broad. I'm a woman. No, I'm just kidding. To talk hypocritically. To cant. They're canting. I can say they're canting.
Yeah. Now we were just talking about how people they talk about the skin color of their children, and then when somebody deals with them based on that level, they get upset about it. So it's not only hypocritical, but it's also with sanctimonious talk.
Okay.
And if you had an English, how would you say that word if you had an English accent? That's the rub.
Cunt.
Okay, now pause.
Cunt.
I wanna give you something else.
Okay.
Along with this 7-course meal is double entendre.
Oh, I know this one, yeah. But you guys want me to look it up?
Yeah, if you'd like to. That's for the audience too, because a lot of times we hear the phrase double entendre, and we don't really know what it is. Tend, T-E-N-D. R-E.
Oh, okay. T-E-N. T-E-T-E-N-T-E-N-D-R-E. Like, so double entendre, an example would be if I saw one in a dance studio and it said, keep your butts off the floor. So no smoking as in smoking butts and then dancing butts, like your body butt. Cigarette butts and booty butts.
Right.
Okay.
When we look at what double entendre is, we'll see that one definition is sexually indecent.
Oh, one usually risque, yeah. Flirty talk full of double entendres. What did come on, Adobe, for real? Get off my back.
a word or expression capable of two interpretations, with one usually risque. Yeah, now in literature, ambiguity of meaning arising from language that lends itself to more than one interpretation.
Okay.
And that's where we can use double entendre successfully within the legal system, within comprehending the laws.
Yeah.
That's the part
That's the magic part. That's the part where it can be there. That's the duality between the good and evil, right? Well,
oh God.
Is that right?
Now I can wither up and die because you're gonna tell everybody. That's it. That's what it is. It's and so when you say that when you hear that all commerce is sexual, we won't know how to apply it. But I'll tell you, Aristotle is the way to apply it. The 10 virtues and vices of Aristotle. Same thing, same time, around 381 BC, right there with Socrates or in Plato, Aristotle. And when you go to licentiousness, all right.
Dude, like, come on. Gonna make me. I didn't bring enough. Okay, I don't have enough paper around me on my desk to make notes. How do you spell that word? Actually, I'll just type it. Licentiousness?
Yeah, like spell like you're gonna spell license, like a driver's license.
Oh, so it's of license. So as referring to a license.
Right.
Okay, I don't need to. It's a form of. Okay, it's a licentiousness. It is a. Oh, it's a noun form of the word license. Explaining something, right? Or it's adjective. Wow. Licentiousness.
Oh, on your screen.
No. You said licentiousness. You said if it's referring to license, I can figure out that it's a form. It's a form of a. Dude, I'm a writer. I'm a linguist too. I mean, come on. I figured this out. Who you playing with?
Okay. No, this is healthy. Now let's deal in the realm of poetic license.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're writing laws based on behavior. And if the people practice sexual immorality, then they will be in possession of that fact. And the fact of that possession is that they're in the possession of something issued, like a driver's license. It's in your possession. Now we're understanding like the nuts and bolts of law.
Yeah.
Right. The nuts and bolts of the legal system. So it's once again, I'm going to get expressive and like get magical.
Yeah.
Right. So licentiousness, your license.
Okay.
You are asking the state to provide you with a privilege.
Which means you're giving up your power. You're giving your power over to them. Oh, that's deep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kind of like, you know who kind of breaks this stuff down? Do you ever watch Jordan Peterson? He's into wordplay a lot.
Oh, that's my clinical psychologist on YouTube.
Him and there's this other video. I sent it to my friend in passing because she's also an English teacher, and she loved it. And there's this lady. I have to find her name. But she breaks down words and you're like, oh man, I never thought about it like that. I have to find it.
Wow.
It's like the magic of the English. Oh, it's like, let me see. Maybe I can find it really fast. Keep talking. And I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can play it while, I don't know if the sound will come through. But I think English spell casting or something. English, let me see. English language spell casting. Yes! Secret spells of the English language. Laura Arica. Have you seen this video?
No. Secret spells.
Is it playing?
Yes, I can see it.
Could you listen? Huh?
I can't.
Okay,
I can't hear it.
I'll put it in the okay, of the English language. I will put in the links. So
Okay.
people, and then I'll send it to you after this is over. It's gonna, I mean, it might blow your mind. You probably already know this already, but I think you'll be happy to see somebody on the same page. Let me see.
All I wanted to know was that we're on the same page, and we are on the same page. And our work will increase when we find a target audience, when we find the people who are actually supposed to be going after.
Yeah.
And it's
We
those
want,
who,
we want to know this stuff, because there are people that do and there are people that don't. And I've had to come to terms with that, even though I feel like more people will be empowered if they know this stuff. But you can't teach a horse how to drink. Just lead it to water, you know.
oh yeah, but those around them can hold the cup until they're ready to drink, and maybe even hold the cup with a straw in it.
I ain't holding no damn cup. They need to hold it. No, I'm just kidding.
So the people around
I'm like,
them,
look here, take it. I ain't holding it for you. You got your own hands. You can sip yourself.
taste the cake.
Tell me a little bit more about your book, because we have about 10 minutes or so. I know you want to talk about your book.
Yes.
But it looks pretty short. It looks pretty small.
Yeah, get a chance to know the author. Yeah, it's really.
I can't put it closer. I can't really see. And where is it on Amazon? Like, where is it?
Yeah, I do have it on Amazon. However, I would like you to reach me personally at yesusministries@gmail.com. That's yesus, YESUS ministries@gmail.com. Send me an email. We get to talking with one another, and also send me your address, and I'll let you know where to mail the money order to.
Okay.
So I can send you a copy of this book. It's the book is
The Science of the Fiction Dialect.
It's a companion. It's when you get out there talking to people, and you get in their heads, and you find out that they don't really know what they're talking about. And then you say, well, it's not that they don't know what they're talking about. It's that they're telling me something. They're telling me a story. They're telling me their individual perspective. And so you have to put yourself in the mind of a scientist in order to deal with that level of variations and multiple dimensions.
Yeah, definitely.
And so with the science of fiction dialectic, it's literally the answer that we're all looking for. I know it's boring. I know.
No, don't say that. Some people probably won't think it's boring.
That's true.
You should know, Mr. Wordsmith. Don't put that out there that it's boring.
Well, let me say, it's surgery.
It's comprehensive. It's comprehensive. It's maybe a little daunting. Maybe not daunting is not even the best word, but it's comprehensive. It's work. Maybe it's not an easy read just because it's very dense and there's a lot of information in it.
Oh yeah, many layers. I read Albert Pike. I read some of his publications. And
is this the guy that wants to start the Third World War?
Oh, it's well into it.
No, man, I can't. No.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5. That's I tapped into that a few years back. Grand Theft Auto 5. Just ask any one of the youngsters. My target market for this book, by the way, the people that will be most helped by the science of fiction dialectic are ages 12 through 26.
So what if you're older than 26? Are you just screwed? Like, what's going on?
Well, if being that you're between the ages of 12 and 26, let's say when the S hits the fan, who are they going to be most upset at? Now, and who's the vulnerable group? If we look at groups and populations of people, who's the most vulnerable? it's 12 to 26-year-old, because the 70-year-old, you know, he's either good or he's been financing evil. And that young group of energetic people who can go a couple of days more than I can without sleep, and can go without more food, is probably going to be coming after me in my worst dreams. So I said, well, let them know that it's very complicated, this world, and there's really only one way to sort it all out, and that's to understand how science and how fiction has been used as a technology against us, because the word dialectic created the word technology, and that word you can find in the Holy Scriptures.
Okay, so now I want to ask you too. You're saying it's well underway. I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and I might make a video on this, talking about, I hate when people are like, oh, well, we've slowed it down, but, you know, it's going to happen anyway. I'm like, well, kill yourself then. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we going to give up and be like, oh, the New World Order is going to happen? It's all a psyop. There's no hope for us. Well, I mean, okay, then why don't we just die? Why don't I just quit? Why? What is the... So one of my friends, she's a Christian, and she was talking about, like, I'm a Christian too, but she's more well-read, and she goes to church, and she's very, very more than I am, right? But she was saying that, you know, she thinks the Illuminati has kind of infiltrated religion to a certain degree, because it's put this idea in our mind that we have to go through this apocalypse. It has to happen, as opposed to, if we don't do something about what's going on right now, then it's a possibility of it happening. It doesn't have to happen, but we can stop it or turn it around or change the course. So she's more of the thought that we can change the course of what's going to happen, as opposed to just being like, well, it's going to happen either way. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I share her belief. I am also not a nihilist, and because that's the nihilist belief that it's all just to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Well, what if you were age 12 to 26? Would you want people to just give up that could have done something, anything?
Yeah, I know.
No.
I mean, I don't have kids, but I think about the kids that I in my life and I love, and the kids that I used to teach and stuff. I like, you know, the kids I would like to have kids, but we'll see, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
we fight for them. We do what we can.
Plus, honestly, maybe it's selfish too. I don't want to live in a world of fire and fury and Hillary Clinton being president.
That's a disgusting proposition.
That's awful. Huh?
Yeah. So my work, you know, is just like your work. I'm going to work on the semantics. I'm going to be a semantics mechanic. I'm the greatest Bible scholar alive right now. I'm going to say that right now on your show.
Okay, you're going to handle the comment sections, because I know I have a lot of people that are Christian, and you're like, you're a Muslim, you don't, like, you're going to, like, you have to get it. I don't know how I'm going to battle it out with the people that are going to, like, blow up the comment section that are, okay, I'm just saying.
I'll handle each and every
well, tell them that you read the Bible, the Quran, and you said the Torah. We talked about this off air.
Oh yeah, we're responsible for the Torah, the Gospels, and the Quran as Muslims.
Have you read what is it, the Hindi one, the Bhagavad Gita? Have you read that one as well, or?
Some of it. I don't want to be responsible for all of it, but I'm going to tell you this. What if all of the holy books were epic tragedy?
Well, they have similarities, right? Though there's similarities, a lot of similarities between them. Would you say?
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't read all of them. I don't know. I have to claim ignorance. I don't really know any of that. Huh?
What's an epic tragedy? I mean, they have basic parts. Every epic tragedy has a moral. It has well, of course, a protagonist, a hero. And then they face some kind of challenge. But here's another part about Greek tragedy and this is from my English 381, I think, UNLV, is that all of these Greek tragedies, they all contain peripeteia, the element of peripeteia. And peripeteia, for e.g., peripeteia would be Oedipus the king when he finds out that the oracle was right, that he was going to kill his father.
Marries his mother. Yeah.
So the effect that has on the audience is called peripeteia. And would you know that the word peripeteia is in the New Testament?
So peripeteia is it as it relates to us today, meaning kind of even if we know what's going to happen, there's something that's what am I trying to say? If you know something that's going to happen, it's still kind of planned out for us.
So now, yes.
But then we have free will, so I don't understand that.
Hold on, Versti, let me get this. So you're talking about predestination, possibly, potentially. We're going kind of fast here.
Well, I mean, that's what the thing with Oedipus was, right? Because he knew the oracle was like, you're gonna kill your father and marry your mother, and you're like, what? Like, he's like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's not gonna happen. I would never marry my mom, and I would never kill my father, and then that ends up happening.
Have kids with her?
Yeah, that's gross, dude. He didn't know, though. He didn't know it was his mom at the time, but he found out later it was.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was that the gods were sound, right? So that's like saying that, okay, well, I wasn't. He can never say that he wasn't told.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he gouged his eyes out and then wandered the earth for eternity. And so that is also another element of peripeteia, where you think, oh my God, he gouged his eyes out. I need my eyes.
I know. I was like, that's a bit extreme, don't you think?
It's Greek tragedy. It's epic tragedy. It's telling us that maybe it's not necessarily predestination, but because we're now accessing more of our brain, that more of an explanation is required. What did the scriptures say? They would grow wiser and wickeder.
But you also think that it's also could be a part of like programming to keep us in the state of just like despair and feeling that we can't do anything more. Okay. Like I also see that too, not just in religion, but also in like movies. There's a lot of movies that are dystopic, right? About the dystopic future, and they've been coming out within the past few years, like the last decade. Like all these, like the future has to be dystopic. Whether it's going to be, what is that? What happened? Yeah. Where it has to be like, you see what I'm talking about? Like the world and it's vampires around the earth, or robots, or zombies, or something. And I all feel like I had to stop watching stuff like that because I felt like I was participating in a collective unconscious. Because if we start like, what am I trying to say? We start thinking that we're gonna manifest that. Because I look at the internet as a very like low budget way of the low budget version of the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is bigger, it's broader, it's more viable than the internet. But because we've been, programmed and erased, a lot of our own consciousness and powers have been taken away from us. We see something like the internet, and this is all we have. You know, we're still reaching for that. We know that it exists, but the collective unconscious is really, I've been really trying to focus on, I heard this guy call in today, and I watched, do you watch RKTNN? I try and bounce around. I watch a lot of people. But he's a RKTNN network. He's been doing really good coverage on the Caravan. He's been having a call-in show. I did a video trying to promote his show because he's trying to get a bunch of subscribers, and he has a lot of time to just talk to people and relay out information. So I think it's important, and I think he needs more subscribers just because, you know, he's putting a lot of time in, you know what I mean? And he's getting other people to talk. And anyway, I'm digressing. So this guy calls in today, and he was talking about how there was this, I can't think of his guy, you might know. And the name sounds familiar, but I think he was a preacher, and he was getting people to visualize how they wanted the world to be positively. And he got up to, he said like 1 million people at one time visualizing how they wanted the world to be. And maybe somebody in the comment section can put it, you know, when I post this, because you guys might know the guy's name. But basically, they shut him down, I think, and killed him or whatever. And I think that was one of the, like, they're like, oh no, like, you know, the Illuminati is the higher ups, the evildoers. They can't have that because they have to keep us in the state of ignorance and fear and despair, right? And it seems like there's something within the universal laws where in order to even do a lot of the evil stuff that they do, they have to have our agreement to some extent for it to work. Oh. Whether they manipulate us into doing it or whether we give it away knowingly.
Right. And this brings us to more Greek tragedy. I think if we go back far enough, then we can come up to the present. So it was Prometheus who tricked Zeus into declaring that cow fat and cow bones were sacred. Now, Zeus got tricked into declaring it, which made it law. So I declare that I am a citizen of the United States of America. You notice the word declare was in there? Mm-hmm. So every time that we get someone to make us make an affirmative statement about something, then we are not rebutting it. We're agreeing with it. So we sign contracts all the time. You want to use a new app on your phone.
Yes.
I agree.
And I've done it. I'm doing it today probably. Because they make it like 1,000 pages long and you have work to do and you can't they know you don't have time to read all that stuff before you sign it. And they know that you need it. They put us in a situation where we need it. We can't really survive without the internet right now. And it's crazy.
A lot of the contracts are about 9-10 pages. They're not really that long.
It's still long.
Yeah.
They're not 3 lines.
Yeah.
I know. 1,000. I said 1,000 pages. I know they're not 1,000 pages.
Hey, I respect hyperbole. I mean, I understand. It's a lot. And really what you're surrendering it's a lot more than because we're all doing it. I actually know what's going on and it's too much to explain right now. I'm not going to try. But the electronic system and the analog system are 2 different systems. It's the idea of going on Google, which is the electric system, and then going to the library, which is the analog system.
Microfiche.
Yeah.
Remember microfiche?
Yeah.
Chick. When I would have to sign my students' papers, and they'd be like, oh man, I gotta look this up. I'd be like, you need to shut up. I had to go to the library and get find the magazine or whatever I was looking and to get the film and put it in the microfiche machine. You kidding me? Get out of here. Because I can't do Google. Please.
Yeah, it's about technology, how we access technology, and
Wikipedia, not encyclopedia. Encyclopedia, we had encyclopedia, not Wikipedia.
Right. And even with an encyclopedia, think about how much information was in those things.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We had the Colliers one. Where you go to some pages, they be talking about fruit, or the anatomy, and then it would have like those clear pages.
Oh,
You know,
yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
yeah, such fond thoughts of those things. They were trying to teach us, you know.
We were like, back in my day, we used to do microfiche, and we used to have to look stuff up on the encyclopedia. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I can't. We're there's so much that we're gonna do working together. And that guy RKTNN, does he have anything to do with Tommy Sotomayor?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Randall K. Taylor Network. He's just a dude. He's a father, and I think he's black, but he's of Latin. He's like Afro Latin. He speaks Spanish, and he's turned me on to some other Spanish stuff. Now I watch Conciencia Radio, where there's a guy named Alec Bachman who's I posted one of his videos on my channel. He's talking in English, but he's a journalist in Mexico, and he speaks English and Spanish. And then I was actually going through his channel. He's like woke, because he starts talking about like Satanism and Illuminati and all this other stuff. So he's like an independent news source, but he talks, he does stuff in English and Spanish. And yeah, I mean, check him out. Just a broader platform. I think, like I said, I don't know what he does, but he's on like almost 10 hours a day. He has, he can just broadcasting from his house. But either he's just pulling up news, English and Spanish, and analyzing it, or he's having us call in. And I think, especially during this time in history, it's real important that we can talk to each other. And also, I mean, when I get over my strike, I want to do a call in too. I want to do live streaming, because I think it's important that we talk to each other and trade information, and we all have pieces to the puzzle, Yeah. And
yes.
Yeah.
I say we're in Smurf Village, and we're all Smurf. And I'll be Papa Smurf. I seriously, I'll do it. I'll be Papa Smurf for the benefit of all the Smurfs. Each of us individually has so much to offer to the village. Now you're talking about this guy, Alan Bachman. Have you ever heard of Benjamin Fulford?
Alex Bachman. He's a Swedish Mexican. I think one of his parents is Swedish. He's a very light-skinned Mexican, so he looks white, but his Spanish he's like speaks perfect Spanish and perfect English. Okay. His reporting is really good. He's a very intriguing guy. So, John, look up Conciencia Radio. Conciencia Radio. I need to wrap it up though.
Okay.
What do you want to promote? You got 10 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. Not 10 seconds. But...
Wait. I got one more question. Though.
No, not 10 seconds. I'm just messaging you.
Benjamin Fulford. Are you familiar with him?
How do you spell his last name?
Fulford.
Maybe. I'll look him up.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. He also does publications in English and Spanish, and it'll be the greatest foreign policy update that I can offer to you.
Okay. All right. Anything you want to say? Tell people where I won't put your channel in the links, but tell people where they can find you and what else you want to promote before you bounce.
All right. I just want to let people know that me saying that I'm the greatest Bible scholar ever has nothing to do with me. I'm a filthy rag. I take the scriptures seriously. I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm a filthy rag. However, I will be able to give you a view of the scriptures that you never thought that you were able to have before. Guaranteed. And when I say guarantee, that means you can have your $25 back. If you feel that you were not satisfied in learning something that you never thought that you would ever learn before about the scriptures. That's a guarantee. You can email me at Davidthemagicnegro@gmail.com. And you can also email me at yesusministries@gmail.com.
Send those to me when we're done. Text us to me, and I also put those in the links too, so people can contact you. Okay. All right. One more question. I interviewed one of my friends today, and I forgot to ask him. But what is your dream for America that you would like to see come to fruition?
Wow. My dream for America, I can't wait for, um, a Caesar moment, like the Planet of the Apes. I want all blacks and whites in America to have that Caesar moment where you're like, like all of us together so we can actually have that good morning.
Got you. Okay. So I didn't see the new Planet of the Apes. So is this what you're basically saying? They wake up and they get on the same page and they can start. Okay. Taking over the image. Okay.
Collective benefit, and rather than try to use brutality.
Okay.
That's not what we're here for. And one quote I want to leave you with is, this is something I wrote.
Okay.
Being humane is actively seeking a way to build a relationship with humanity.
Oh, you know what? You got to do the rhyme that you did for me, too, before we go. We'll close out with that. He did this dope rhyme. And I was like, you have to do that. You ready? And then that'll be our closing.
Okay. Can I do another one? It'll be just as good.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay. Okay. What you know about democracy? Okay. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna do the one. Why is the Congress? Here we go. Why is the Congress the opposite of progress, showing us bills more debts, perverted nonsense? The all-seeing eye can see me. I see your blink. Pucker and strength of muscle, my iris science in sync. Woody Allen, Andy Warhol, effeminate white males, but black men got Obama. Don't ask, he won't tell, but all science. Michelle's a little bit manly. Stanley left a boy in Indonesia with a tranny as his nanny. Truth be told, Americans don't deal with facts. They bow to the Wizard of Oz as they act, and markets collapse. Then resurrect erections. Sex is a weapon in a worldwide deception. America the whore, big goat with mummy bandages. Bareback with her gets burned, sue for damages. But get in line behind the long line of indigenous. Earth people, greed kills no matter what your religion is. Cash remains king and the emperor is naked. The truth is in the cloud. It's yours for you to take it. Escape the wilderness, forest from the trees. So hard to tell the difference when you're begging on your knees. Application means plea for employment. Now you are property for another's enjoyment. Wait, just push wait. They're bringing in more keys. Death comes later like running from Jason Voorhees.
Oh, snap. I'm going to give you applause, too. All right, guys. That's it. Peace to love. Bye. Mwah.
Peace.